Good morning, GQ. Good morning to those of you listening via radio, internet, or whatever social media platform. I am Alric Edwards, Inspector of Police, and the host for today's program, Police in Review. I have the pleasure this morning of having Sergeant Constance Rogers and Woman Corporal Samson from the Special Victims Unit on this morning's program. The topic of this morning's program is more or less to share some very important information with parents and guardians that relates to different offences relating to sexual offences. The show will take its normal format: question and answer segment, break, calling from the general public, then closing statements. Question: how long have you been a police? Sergeant first, then Corporal.
Good morning to everyone. I have been a police officer for the past 26 years.
Good morning to the persons listening out there in Radio Land and on the different social media platforms. I have been a police officer for over 18 years now.
Thank you, officers. Do you like your job? Both of you. Well, Sergeant first again.
Yes, I like my job.
Corporal?
Yes, I really love my job. I really love going out there and assisting persons in, bringing perpetrators to justice. I sometimes feel like I am their voice, so to speak.
It's a very interesting question now. Did you always wanted to be a police?
Yes, I wanted to be a police, but the area that I wanted to work, I never get the opportunity to work there. But I am happy where I am now because I have a passion dealing with the victims of these sexual offenses, the domestic violence victims, and also the juveniles who we come into contact with.
I too always wanted to be a police officer. At first I had some deterrence, but I was determined to, however, join the police force, and now I'm here.
Sarge, if you're willing to share, which department you wanted to work before?
I wanted to work immigration because I remember when I used to go to Basia High School and I came into town, I used to see a female officer driving the traffic car. And I used to say, when I stop from school, I'm going to be driving one of those cars. So I used to say I would like to work in the traffic department and drive the traffic car.
Thank you, officers. So both of you are currently stationed at the SVU, Special Victims Unit.
Yes.
Tell us about that unit, please.
Well, the Special Victims Unit started in 2012. And this unit is headed by the sergeant here, Sergeant Detective Constance Rogers. The unit is situated at Needmos Estate, that is opposite the water department. And for persons who don't know where the water department is, it is below Ricardo's Hardware. At this unit, we deal with matters pertaining to juveniles. We also deal with matters of a domestic nature and also sexual offenses.
Thank you, Corporal Samson. Today we are discussing 3 offences that the SVU investigates. Starting with rape. What is rape?
Okay. Rape. Rape is the unlawful sexual intercourse of a female by a male, whether by force, fear, or fraud against her will or without her consent.
Thank you. Corporal, you want to add anything to that?
She's so correct.
Okay. Can a man rape his wife?
I would say yes. Yes, a man can rape his wife. And how this is done, if they are either legally separated or divorced. When I say legally separated, I mean if both parties who live that are living in a spousal relationship decide to end that relationship and live separately, whereas the divorce is when an order is given by the court terminating the marriage.
Let's just back up a bit. You talk about legally separated, and you went on to explain that when a man leaves the house, that's legally separated?
When they both decide that they don't want to be in.
Would that be legal though?
It's
okay. Let me just expound on that. Sometimes persons file for divorce, and during that time they are waiting for the decision for the divorce to finalize. There's a separation order there, and during that time, sometimes if it's a two-story house, the wife might occupy upstairs and the husband occupy the downstairs. If for some reason the husband decide that he wants sex and he go upstairs and interfere with his wife and take sex from her without her consent, he rape her.
right.
Because they're still legally married, but they're just separated, awaiting the divorce.
Thank you for the addition, Sergeant Rogers. Thank you, Corporal, for your attempt on the question. I will fully throw in that because I didn't sense the illegality or the legality.
I understand.
Right. Can a woman rape someone?
Can a woman rape someone? A woman can be charged for assisting someone to rape a female. For rape, there must be penetration.
Right.
So therefore, a woman raping another female, there's no penetration.
There's penetration, right.
So therefore, she can be charged for assisting a male to rape a female.
Aid abet counsel and procure.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Accessible before and after.
Right. Thank you, Corporal. At this juncture, let's take a commercial break. GQ. Upon our return, we will open the lines and solicit calling from the general public. Thank you.
In case you don't know us, you're just twisting the dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from Adam St. Kitts.
Hold on, stop. Think about the drink before you take a drop. Read up on the label on the back. They say science sugar low in fat, but don't be fooled by that. Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody, hey.
This message is brought to you by Lake Health and Wellbeing.
Let me tell you something. Every Monday and Thursday night from 8 until 10 p.m. on ZIZ Radio Power 96.1, tune in for Straight Talk.
Your job is to serve the people, not to get in the back and forth that sometimes as humans, people can say things about you and you believe there's a limit. But the one who wears the armor and carries the name of God, let him fight your battle.
It's a program where you can share your views.
Well, I don't usually call into the radio station, but I had to call in. I was in the Federation over the weekend and I was quite impressed. Flew over Port Zante and I see the development happening there. I drive up in the east in your area for years and years and years. That area has been neglected. Those houses there on the other side of Mr. Byron gas station was. See y'all getting ready to do something about it.
Ask your questions.
What Douglas want to do? Be a Satan and judging sin?
Tune in every Monday and Thursday night from 8 until 10 p.m. right here on ZIZ Radio with your host, Ian Patches Liebert for Straight Talk.
What is indecent assault?
Indecent assault is an assault accompanied by acts of indecency.
If it doesn't include violence, is it still an indecent assault?
Yes. If it includes violence, then it becomes aggravated assault. Once it is on a female or a child, 14 and under.
Can a child be a victim of an indecent assault?
Yes, a child can be a victim of an indecent assault. We have these cases a lot of times where persons, adult persons, indecently assault a child. As recent as yesterday, we had a matter at the court, the High Court, where an adult was convicted for indecently assaulting a child. So we also have a lot more cases before the court for indecent assault upon children.
Thank you, Sergeant Rogers. What is incest?
It is the sexual contact between close blood relatives, whether it be aunt or uncle with the niece or the nephew, brothers and sisters, parents, grandparents and grandchildren, or parents and children. It can also be foster child as well as stepchild.
What if you don't know?
Well,
would you commit offense if you don't know that you're related to the person?
Correct.
You
Because you have to know that you are blood relatives in order for the offense to
be committed.
Yes.
Committed. Because they are distant cousins, and it still falls part of the law. But I may not know that I am dating a distant cousin, a cousin's cousin, or cousin of mine who got a child, and my son children got children, and then they're gonna give it my cousin. You know what I mean? And they don't know, because there's an issue in our society that we don't really teach children who the relatives are, and so you may find these things happening. If that's the case, what would the SVU do if they get wind of a situation like that? Would they intervene, or would they just allow it to continue? What would it be if it had not been reported? Because most of the time, police deal with matters that are reported. So, what would be the SVU's position on that?
Well, once the matter is reported to the SVU, then we'll have to speak to the parties involved. If they don't know, they don't know. So once we sit down and we speak to these people, then you would find out now that there's some kind of relationship between them, family-wise. But for the unit to just go and say charge these people because this have happened, they didn't know, because you have to know that you are related in order for the offense to be committed. No?
Yes.
I want to discharge of anything else you want to add to it.
Also, we should be able to prove the relationship. And if for some reason that person is saying that he didn't know that this person was his blood relative, and they want to go to court with the matter, what we will do, we will prepare the case file and submit it to the office of the DPP, because the office of the DPP is the appropriate authority to deal with these matters. So we will get guidance from the office of the DPP as to how to proceed with this matter.
Yes, and it's very interesting, and I don't really want to lament too long on this issue, but there are situations where a person may genuinely love the other person, and both parties may love each other that strong, so that or they are close to getting married, and it's just because a parent may know the relationship between them, so to thwart what they are thinking, and so they may report the matter to the police. This being the situation, they are about to get married, and a case file was submitted already to the court. What will be the next step? Because if I'm in love with somebody and we are about to get married, and I found that she's my cousin, I'm still married, I might be wrong, but people like what I like. So what would be the position of you guys? I'm still human, I'm a police, yes, and it should be binding and whatsoever, but I'm human also. So what would be the situation? What would be the step from the unit?
Well, what I'll say to that is, we if this matter reported, we first have to get statement. So if they don't give statement in relation to the issue, then we can't proceed. Right? Because we need the evidence to take. Right? So we won't be able to proceed.
And then again, the choice is yours. If you and your cousin are two consenting adults, and you fall in love with your cousin, and you want to marry to your cousin, then you go ahead and get married to your cousin. I know persons who have a relationship with their first and second cousin, even go as far as getting children. As I said, they are consenting adults.
Okay, I'm going to lean in our favor of that answer. I know we are police and we should not be, because it's law and it's on the book, so we should at least be guided by the law. But people like what they like, and we are human beings.
Exactly.
Right.
Whereas I know of a police who was involved with her second cousin. She didn't know they were related. And one day she went to the hospital with him to visit his grandmother. And the grandmother asked, who you belongs to? And when she told the lady who she belongs to, the grandmother said, where are you one? So after they left the hospital, she told him, I can't believe we related all the time, and you didn't tell me. He claimed he didn't know. But she called off the relationship. She tried him out. And everything finished there.
Most of the time, the woman will take a stand in those instances. The man seldomly act rational. And how you do rational? Loosely. Yeah. We still on the topic incest. Is it only between an adult and a minor?
No. You have we have cases where juvenile have sex with the half sister who is a minor.
Okay. Do you have any callers?
The lines are open, 465-2555. We had some calls there a while ago, so let's give them a minute or two before we move on.
Sure.
Right. Let's take this call.
Caller, we listening?
Hello.
Hello, morning.
Yeah, good morning, GQ.
Yes, good morning, man.
Commissioner of Police and what it is, Sergeant Francis and those two female police officers. Now, a question was asked to those two female police officers if a husband can rape his wife. And the answer from one of them was yes. Well, I beg to differ with that. Because when husband and wife go stand up in front of the minister or the judge, whosoever going to declare them husband and wife, there are questions asked. Like if the judge will say, well, we'll have this man to be your wedded husband for better or for worse. They have a chance to say yes or no. And they say yes because they want the man. And then the man, this question and ask to the husband too, will you have this woman to be your wedded wife for better or for worse? To have and to hold? He could say no, but he say yes. You hear well? To have her as your wife. And if she don't want to give you, you hold her. You hold her. But once you are legally divorced, and you are not intimately in love, and you got trouble, then he could rape her. But once you are legally married and still live with her, he got in England and she here, he's supposed to take the thing anytime. To have and to hold. So that's the difference I got with that. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Carlo. You want to touch that?
Go ahead, Judy.
Well, according to law, he can rape her. As we say, if they are legally separated or divorced, he can rape her. He cannot just take the thing, as the caller would have said, as he like, if they are legally separated or divorced. It's according to law, you know.
Thank you, Corporal Sampson, for explaining that. Any more callers, GQ? Caller, listening?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, GQ.
Yes, good morning.
And heal up the man who had called culture. Heal the man. Culture, GQ and Sergeant Alwet, Inspector Alwet, a very informative program. And based on the discussion here, I would like to see police, especially when you ask the young lady about unlawful conduct. Is that your answer, right? Always, a while ago.
Well, I asked about legally separation and divorce.
No, but you asked what is unlawful conduct, something like that. But we have a lot of that going on around here. And the young lady was to explain it properly to the lemon them on the road, because a lot of young men physically meeting a young girl walking up 4th Street and pushing out her hand and trying to touch the bubbies and other private parts, you know. So, young lady, when you're on the ear, you must talk these things that the lemon young boys them on the road could understand what you're talking about, because these are serious offenses. You know, I travel the road daily, you know, and I see these offenses and it's very serious. Sometimes you see it from, you know, foreign nationals, and we youngsters them around with the pants dropped down, we see it much from them. So please, when I am speaking to the public, we want to break it down in lemon terms, not the lot terms, lemon terms, that these young boys could understand the dangerousness in it and they could get locked up. You understand? Because if my little girls them give consent for anything and you hold and you pull up close just so, police don't come afterwards and isn't me the wrong way. You understand? Let me do this thing properly. So when I ever there to speak to us, I break it down, man, because that's why you see the big man fly he must feel like I'm challenging him because I could challenge him, you know. But I want him to come that he could know what's going on out here so he could properly prepare these young girls and police in general about the war. Have a good day, gentlemen. GQ.
See you in the
dog, yeah, I mean dog in the city.
Oh boy.
I could see.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
Mash us up bad. Hear the man what we call culture.
Thank you, Jamdon, for your contribution. And would anybody want to touch on that? Because he has a point as it relates to.
Indecent assault.
Well, yes, indecent assault, but he has a point as it relates to the uses of the language that we use. You know, we should use lemon terms. A person can understand what we are saying. You know what I mean? So let's touch on that so that, you know, person can be aware of what Jamdon is referring to.
Yes, for the gentleman who just called him, yes, indecent assault, and we said it is an assault which is accompanied by acts of indecency. These acts of indecency, let me bring it right down to so persons can understand. If a male decides to just touch a female breast or her private part or her buttocks, as we may call it, those are acts of indecency. And persons can be charged for these offenses once they are reported. And these offenses carry a term of 10 years once persons are convicted. So they are very serious offenses, as the caller would have said. Persons are not permitted to feel that they should just handle persons as they like.
That's it. Thank you, Corporal. Did you get any more calls?
Not at the moment. But okay, we do have a call now. Hold on. You're live. Go ahead.
Good morning. This is Dumpling.
Good morning, Dumpling.
If you and the police then, one day I was there by Development Bank and they put in some like a Jamaican, but two little girls have on high school uniform. And there's a boy Chinatown, he touched the little girl. I said, excuse me? She laughed. I said, girl, you're in your uniform. You let he disrespect you, and he got his pants on and his bum, and he going on with this kind of slang with us saying, go down a yard or in a yard or whatever. I said, I will call the head teacher and explain to him, I don't really know what you name. The other one passed and said, I don't tell him to stop, like, shut up, and he meet on you what. I was vexed. If I was strong, me and he would have fight GQ. What's like how he's a foreigner? I'd have mashed him up because I could have done my grandchild so too. I don't like it. I know I need to go in the school and speak to them children in the school then, all the high school and even in the little Irish town and village, because I got some grown-up children look big and they're just 11 and 10, them kind of age. Need to take a chance and go in there and talk to them because I was upset Monday. You understand? Because I look like they come out of school early. And it just put your hand towards the girl Titi. I was vexed. Okay, this is Dumpling.
Yeah, thank you, Carlo, for your contribution. Would you like to just touch that?
Yes, something like that should not have happened. But it all boils down to education. As you said, we should go into the schools and speak to the children, because that man should have been reported for indecently assaulting that child. She's a child. She's not an adult. Once she's under the age of 16, she cannot consent to any form of sexual touching. So that man should have been reported.
And if I may add to what Sergeant Rogers said, parents too, they need to educate their children. They need to have a dialogue with their children. They need to sit down with them, speak to them, let them know what is accepted and what is not accepted. Let them know from the home and let them know at a young age, so they will go with it.
Yeah, we have some more calls.
Yes.
3 of them to be exact.
Right.
Good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Carlo.
Go ahead, you're live.
Good morning, GQ.
Good morning.
And good morning to Inspector Alok here.
Good morning, sir.
And the two ladies. Now, my little concern, and you always concern me bitterly, when I see a young, cool boy or girl with drugs and with alcohol, and these adults encourage them and inviting them to these things, and it seems to me like nobody concerned about these things. So what I want the police them to do, look into these things very serious, because a lot of our young men and women just turning alcoholic and just turning drug addict. I see it for myself. I don't be around. If you check up out on the terminal, the bus terminal down here, before they got the boat car down here, this year kind of young little girls down here smoking, drinking. Eh? And some of these parents, they invite the children them to smoke, I don't know about the drinking, but they invite the children them to smoke, and I talk about smoke good for them. Listen, if we gonna allow these things to happen to our young future children coming up, what do you think gonna happen to our society? What do you think gonna happen to our country? These people want to smoke alcoholic and drug addict, and then, the government don't get a lot of problems to deal with these people and deal with it. You got to come better than that. And if anything you have to do by the law, when if you see somebody, some adults, encourage a school child or school to alcoholic drugs, Because he's terrible out there, man. He's terrible out there with these young people. Just smoking and drinking. Some of them don't even look at the one for work. All right then.
Thank you, Mr. Politics, for your contribution. Just take a note of that. Call up, later in this call, GQ. Hello, listening.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I would like to find out if a boy at the age of 10 could rape.
No, a boy at the age of 10 cannot commit the offense of rape or the crime of rape because that boy is Dolly Incobac. So what I mean by that, he has attained the age of criminal liability where he can commit any offenses.
Yes, thank you, because I went to court and the judge showed me a boy under the age, like from 14, could rape. A woman could be raped at any age, from a child, even from a death, to 100 years old. But a boy cannot rape at the age of 14, so I just want to make sure that we do too.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. Any more calls? Caller, we listening?
Yes, call. You're live. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to follow up something to what Dumpling said because I was in an area there and this adult tell a child by a restaurant go buy something and a school child and this boy telling the child, you don't hang out with this person, if I invite you out with me you will go. The child has she uniform and the adult hear him and she put him in his place. He wants to invite the child. The adult telling him, when the girl ain't in fifth form yet, you see the girl got her she uniform. Let him date with the young little school girl. And he ain't from here neither. He from the same country where Dumplings are. So I got to look out to these people.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. And the reason for these shows is to educate and to sensitize the listening public, families on a whole, that these acts are not permitted. GQ, are there more calls? Caller, we listening?
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes. Me, Culture here. I am sending out an invitation to the Chief of Police to get on ZZ television and educate all the schools them and everybody in the country because we're not going to tolerate them foolishness what's going on with our children them. Man, big man must learn to respect children. And if you come from where you come from with your bad behavior, go back and carry it back there and then come back a decent person. So I'm calling the commissioner, come on the television, face the nation. Because this thing is getting out of hand, you know. And me got granddaughters in school, and any one of them say, Grandpa, go Nancy, do this. Me ain't got nothing else to say. You all have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Culture. Do you want to touch those?
Yes, I agree with that caller. I mean, it is just out of order for an adult to be interfering with a child because remember, you also have, maybe you have children. If you don't have children, you might have a sister, you have nieces, you have close friends who have children, and you would not like to hear that a big man interfere with the young child. So this is something that we want to discourage. It is unacceptable for any big men, any men to be interfering with these school children. As long as they have not attained the age of 16, which is the age of consent, you're all supposed to leave them. Look for big women. Even if they reach the age of 16 and they're still in school. I mean, leave them. Let them finish their schooling. Go look for a big woman. Leave the children them. That is my take on that.
Yes, you want to contribute to any, well, a number of other persons would have called in. Do you want to touch the other issues that was aired a while ago?
Yes, the caller spoke about the boy committing the offense, which the sergeant would have cleared up. The age is actually 12.
Oh,
the age is actually 12.
Thank you for that information.
Yes.
Any more callers, GQ? Caller, we listening?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Well, How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good.
I don't know how the president could get in 3 and 4 times sometimes. You know, you got a special number for him, no? Anyway, good morning, Inspector. Good morning, Sarge. Good morning,
Morning, Mr. Wilshaw. Morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm here listening, and I think we are missing one of the biggest factors what is going on in society today. And it's coming from, most of the time, from the household. The relationship between children and parents is not there anymore. Some of the parents are too materialistic, so they want 3 and 4 jobs, so they don't have no time to spend with the children. Because my question, how much of these offenses, especially these sexual assaults, are reported? So they happen, but they are not reported. And the problem is coming from the households. Let's face reality. We have moved away from how society used to be. Everybody wants to be like the Joneses. Everybody wants to be materialistic. So a lot of things are happening, and we are seeing it, but they are not reported. And then sometimes if you or someone try to intervene, the amount of abuse you get sometimes is amazing. It is sad. And then we have the different cultures, we have the different persons coming from different cultures. So it's a mixture. So it's something that the police have to look seriously, because you all are admitting that is a serious problem. I've never subscribed to big men or big men in general troubling school children. But it happens on a regular basis for some reason. But some of the parents are to blame, because if you have a good relationship with your children, and these men, they don't trouble any and anybody. They target certain children. They know whatever the situation might be at the household, and they literally target them, unfortunately. Because they wouldn't target certain children, because they know the child is going to either squeal, they're going to report them all their clock, so they're not going to go down that road. So they know exactly what they're doing. But it's just sad, and it's reaching to the stage where, from all reports, it's getting out of hand. So I just pray and hope that we can stem this problem before it gets too worse. As usual, it's a great program. I've been listening for a while. It's very educational. And what I like about Jam Down contribution is about breaking down certain of the language. I understand where you are coming from, but the lemon and the word, then they definitely need to know what these words, these sophisticated words you all use sometimes, what they actually mean. So the breaking down make a big difference. But thanks again, and continue to enjoy all day. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Wilshaw, and we appreciate your calling in as usual, and we want to encourage you to continue calling in. Before we finish, I would like to, before this show ends, it will be remiss of me to not sensitize the general public, listening audience, of the number of offences involving larceny from attended vehicles. So we have some crime tips. Always lock your vehicles, whether you are getting fuel or popping back in the house for anything. Lock your vehicles. We have had a spike in larceny from attended vehicles, so we're just trying to sensitize the general public to make sure that your vehicles are locked and all valuables are placed in areas where are not easily seen. Back to you guys. Anything in closing? The sergeant first.
Okay. Please, I am sending out a strong message to the men out there. Leave the children alone. The law is there to protect these children. So, any of you interfere with these children, you can get arrested and be taken before the court of law. And I would also like to say to the parents, some of you are taking monies to make up these cases. It is not a good thing to do, because sometimes when you take these monies, the children are saying they didn't get anything out of it. The police doesn't have anything to do with who want to make up cases, but it is not a good thing. The law is there to protect the children, and let the court decide on the matter.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Oh, and our number, you can reach us at 662-7077. That is our on-call phone. You can call 467-4232 or 467-4252. As well as you can call the Bassier Police Station, which is 465-2241, and ask the operator to transfer you to the Special Victim Unit.
Thank you, Sergeant, for your lengthy closing remarks. Couple, you?
I too also want to admonish the general public to continue to call in and report these matters. And don't say it just might look simple to you, so me ain't gonna bother the police with that. Call still, and we would decide whether or not it's something that we can deal with. Because too often we have these matters coming about, and we need to protect our children. They are our future. We need to protect them. Yes, no longer does the community raise the child, because some parents, when you try to discipline their child or speak to them, they're not trying to find out what is wrong. Instead, they come in a manner, that cause other person to not want to have to deal with them. But continue calling still, and for those who think that it is not important to call, do call. The sergeant already gave some numbers, so I would ask that you guys would jot down these numbers, have them close so that you can call the station and report these matters. I also want to thank the staff at the Special Victims Unit for their hard work. This department, the workload is heavy. It's heavy.
Imagine.
Very heavy, because we deal with so much, and it is the whole island. It is not just Bastia only. So I want to thank the staff. They work hard, they work tirelessly. I also want to thank the sergeant here next to me. She has a wealth of knowledge and experience in these matters. Not just these matters, but we are dealing with these matters now. So she had a wealth of knowledge in these matters that we deal with at the Special Victims Unit. And I want to thank her, because I know sometimes it could be tough for her, but she works. She works hard, and sometimes she don't even leave until she get what she needs done. And so does the other officers. They go extra, and I just want to thank them.
Yes, it's important. It's very important as a SPO supervisor to encourage and support the men under your control. Right, I want to thank you, Corporal Samson, for coming, because it's a regular campaign on the show. I didn't expect it this morning, but I want to especially thank the sergeant for coming as well. To support you, and that is how team is built. Team is built on the strength and on the weaknesses. And so man must be placed in position where they are strong. I want to thank you again for coming. GQ, I want to thank you as usual for being the reliable moderator that you have always been weekly, week after week. I want to thank the management staff of ZIZ for allowing us to be here week after week. To the callers, I encourage you and to call in. I encourage you to call in and continue to call in on this show, because without your contribution to this show is pointless. I want to encourage all those who are thinking about calling in and who are afraid. The topic that the question that they know should be question basically, and the question that you may pose might be one that somebody suffers other than you. So, and police can be in a position to assist with answering or can dispatch patrols to deal with your situation. I want to thank you all for listening again, and see you guys next week, Thursday. Thank you.